Hello and welcome to the Cheadle End Podcast, a Stockport County fan podcast. We are here a day after County struggled at home to Leyton Orient. I'm Callum, sat with County fans and season ticket holders Rob and Calvin. We'll discuss and dissect that abysmal County's performance and talk about the mid-game week as well.
Waking up is Saturday, it's time for the game. In Edgeley we gather, passionate in the flames. Stockport County's colors, blue and white shine. With the roar of the fans, we toast to the divine. Every corner we conquer, together we rise. Here's to Stockport County, let the anthem ring. In the heart of Edgeley, where the joy we bring. With every kick, every pass, we're ready to fight. Underneath the floodlights, everything feels right.
So, County played Everton under 21s midweek, and we're going to talk about that first, I think, before Calvin absolutely explodes on us, which I expect he will do. They beat Everton under 21s in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy, making Odin Bailey have his 50th appearance for the club and resulting in a decent 4-1 win for County for that one against the Merseyside youngsters. Did any of you watch that game midweek?
Yeah, I didn't go. I watched it on Sky. It was on the Sky Sports Plus. It was a decent performance by quite a strong team for County. They hit the bar twice in the first 10 minutes. A couple of goals for Tanto, and Fevier scored his goal. They were 3-0 up at half-time and seemed to be cruising. Never really looked out of control. Even with the consolation goal in the 83rd minute for the Everton lads, it was never really kind of looked in any doubt for County. They had over 70% of the possession the whole game, bossed it really. But it was the under-21s, so you can't really take too much out of it.
No, I think a win for County is what we were hoping for yesterday, but at least we got it in midweek. There's no real County news though, and there's a lot of predictions before the game yesterday. So we're going to have a little look at some of your predictions before the game.
We're waking up is Saturday, it's time for the game. In Edgeley we gather, passionate in the flame.
Final good squad, not a good start to the season. It's got to be a 3-0 win. Louis Babby on the score sheet again, Carl Watton, and I'm going to say Fraser Horsful for the corner.
Thank you.
I think it might be a tight one today. I'll take County to nick it 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going for a 3-1 home win for County today. Happy days, 3 points.
We've also got predictions that you'll see at the bottom of the screen as well, and we're across all the social media. If you want to see us on social media, check out the links in the description. There's a lot of predictions for a County win. Again, it's positive for County. I don't think anyone actually saw that happening at all, and it's something we've been dreading to talk about. I think unleashing Calvin, which he will be talking about a lot. But they did lose yesterday, having not conceded at home so far yet this season. They've not lost all season. They've not lost a league game since February. Was it a blip, or is this something that we've got to start worrying about?
I'd say it was a blip. I'd say the better team won on the day. I did say and did predict that Leyton Orient would win. However, looking at the stats from yesterday's games, it was a bit of a harsher scoreline than suggested, but it's only this scoreline that counts in it. Yeah, as you were saying, it's the first home defeat since February, because we did lose a couple of away games later in there, weren't they? I mean, we had 60% of the possession, which was a decent possession yesterday, but I think it was a poor performance all around, and the defence. It was the defence that kind of ruined it. But it's a shame that the rest of the stats didn't show the final outcome of a county win.
I'm going to ask you the same question, Calvin. Was that a blip, and do you agree with what Rob said?
No, totally disagree with everything you've just said there, Rob. I don't think it's a blip. I think if you look at the last 3 league games, the Crawley game, Mansfield game, and then today, we've seemed to have lost that high-intensity sort of play. We don't go out in an attacking sense. From what I've seen of the stats from the Crawley game, we weren't really in it for large chunks of it. And like I said to you before we started recording, Rob there gone through all the stats were in our favour, but what's the point in having 60% possession when 90% of it's with your goalkeeper who can't pass the ball? And then the problem is we're just knocking it back, trying to play out the back. I remember a game last year when we went away to Grimsby, and the fans were getting on the back of them. And the commentators, I've said that day, the fans are getting agitated because the Grimsby kept trying to play out from the back, and it wasn't working. And what did we do yesterday? It was almost like Challoner was going, oh, we're passing out from the back. This isn't working. What should we do? Tell them to pass out from the back again. And I just thought I thought the whole performance, I thought the ground from the start, the fans were great. But then as soon as they scored, it went flat. The crowd went flat. Everything seemed to go. And then we got back in the game with that second half goal, which was fine. And you thought, right, he's probably said to them now, look, let's go for it. But they never looked in any real danger other than that. Keeper made a couple of saves. But I thought we were poor from start to finish. I thought we had moments. I thought, when I think we spoke on the first podcast with the Cambridge game where we played well and Cambridge had moments. Yesterday, they played well and we had moments, and it was like, it seems like it's a decline. It seems like, say, the last 3 games, we picked up 2 points from 3 games now. I'm angry with the game yesterday. I thought the performance was terrible. And I think Challoner again showed his ineptitude at tactical stuff. 2-0 down. At 2-0 down, I would have made changes straight away. What's the point in waiting until half time? The players weren't doing the job. They weren't working well. Change it. If something isn't working, change it. And for me, I just thought that the whole game was just out. It was bad. It was really bad. And it's the worst I've seen County play in a long time. But that was bad. That was really bad yesterday.
So I don't know if you remember the first ever podcast we did. You guys were saying there is a big difference between League 2 and League 1. We played a couple of games, and I think there was a bit of a shift of thinking where there might not have been such a huge gap. Are you now going back to how you were thinking pre-season, where there is actually a big gap, and these teams are coming to Edgeley Park, seeing how County play week in, week out, and go, actually, it's this is how we beat them?
Yeah, see, the thing is, I don't think there is a big gap. I've looked at it, and at the time before we've seen it, I don't think there is, because some of the teams we've beaten are teams that certainly have been over the last few years stabilised League One clubs. We've beaten Cambridge and Blackpool, who've been in League One for quite a while now. And then the games we've struggled with were Leyton Orient, who we played 2 years ago in League 2, Mansfield, who we played last year in League 2, and Crawley we played last year in League 2. So I don't think the gap is that big. The problem I had with the way we've been playing is we've seemed to be hardwired into this. We're going to play a certain way, and whether we're losing, winning, or drawing, we're not going to change that style of play, and I just don't think it works. I mean, yesterday, I don't know what you saw, Rob, from your side of it, but the amount of times we got the ball at the back and you had Diamond and Barry preparing to make runs down the wing, and then they'd stop because they're not getting the ball.
Yeah,
and I think the one thing, I spoke to a couple of County fans outside the ground after the game, I said the one thing that annoyed me was when we had the ball, when Horsfall and Pye or Connolly and Adaramola had the ball, they were constantly pressing us. They got the ball at the back, we backed off. And I don't like that. And at the start of the season, we were doing that. We were pressing. Now we've not. It seems like Challinger's sort of restricting what the players can do by saying to them, look, I don't want you to press. I don't want you to be this gung-ho attacking style. And I don't know if he's trying to keep players from getting injured by, not having them making these high-intensity runs and plays. But, no, I don't think the gap is that big. And I think mid-table, is probably where we're going to be at around the end of the season. And I think the one thing I think I said to you guys, I think I've said it to a few Gary fans as well, is the main focus this year is to stay up. You've just got promoted. Your first thought is always to stay up. Once you've got past that, you then look to the next stage. And I think we've been spoiled over the last couple of years because we've obviously been up the top half of the table. And I do think teams are going to work us out because based on what I saw yesterday, Stockport are not a difficult team to play against.
He's Leyton Orient. They were in control. The press was good, and they really dominated for the first 40 minutes or so. I think 38 minutes was County's first chance, and by that point, they'd already taken the lead after 12 minutes. They doubled that 5 minutes later. I thought for a lot of it, Rob, that it was getting a bit ridiculous after 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, the first goal was a defensive howler. How they let Galbraith have so much space and time on the ball when it was crossed into him. He seemed to be the only one in the penalty area, and it was shocking. The second one could have been put down to a couple of things, but bad defending again. But also, Ade should have had that. It was near post. He should have had it. I think Connolly for that one was at fault because he kind of backheeled it straight to their attacking attacker who kind of had a shot, and then it was Ade that kind of pushed it into Galbraith again, who put it past him. So I think it was a culmination of a few different errors for the second one, but it could have been more. It was a bad defence all game, really.
Yeah. I would just like to say that I spoke to a couple of County fans on the train coming back, and I don't think at any point I don't think they played well.
Yeah.
I think we made them look better than they were.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is the problem. I think we made them look better than they were. I don't think they played particularly well, but once they got 2 up, they just were organised.
Yeah.
They defensively were solid. I think I don't know, they came here with a plan and executed it perfectly. And our manager and our players just for some reason didn't turn up yesterday and play the way we have been.
There's been a couple of conversations I've seen online about the changes starting 3 at the back, changes to 4 seems to do well for County. They ended up the second half quite well. There was that header from Horsfall that went slightly over. So they finished the second half quite well. So what were you guys thinking at half-time then? Were you thinking that first half had finished? It was atrocious first half, let's be honest. And there was a bit of hope at the end of it.
I was optimistic at half-time. I've seen quite a few games now where they've been poor in the first half, and it's as though Chandler's give him a bit of a kick up the arse at half-time, and they've come out ready for the, all firing for the second half. Happened quite a few times last season and the season before. But there was the hope for that, but it was what it was.
Yeah, it was, and I think at half time there was a bit of, especially just after half time as well. Just County did get the ball in the back of the net. First goal of the season for Jack Diamond as well, so that was good that he made it off his mark. But I think it wasn't. I think that was the only bit in the whole game that County, as I think County fans, you should be happy about. And it was pretty bad. That, or am I just? I think with Rob, you're a bit more optimistic about it, and I know how bad you think about it, Calvin. But Challoner even said it wasn't complacency, and he thinks all the players are up for it. Do you guys agree with that statement? Start off with you, Calvin. Do you agree with that statement?
I'll be honest with you then. If that's his comment and he says that it's not complacency, then that's tactical ineptitude. He cannot do he has no idea if his players were up for that yesterday, then his tactics are wrong, because that was shocking. If you saw that in the Premier League, you'd be disgusted. It's awful. I mean, things always look worse, I think, when you're at the ground than when it's on TV, because you don't see the space. But if that's his comment, then he tactically doesn't know what he's doing, because, like I said, I thought we were poor. His team selection was weird. Has Callum Connolly played in the league this season, and yet he's dropped players that are better than him. He dropped Toure today, who actually has defensively, I thought, has been okay. Dropped Fevrier for some unbeknown reason. He came on and changed the game when he came on. So, I think that's a stupid comment, because if his players were up for it, then his tactics to me showed that they were the thing that was the problem.
Yeah, he's trying to give more players kind of minutes in it, but you should do that with teams that aren't gonna, are the kind of weaker teams. Leyton Orient, I know they've lost every game, so most of the games so far this one. Yeah,
last game.
It's they are known to be a better team than others, and obviously that midweek game he played quite a strong team. Why not change it up there and play these players that he's putting in now in the lesser games like that game?
Yeah. Well, County did, as I say, 2-1, got back, but it was 3-4-1 and 81 minutes, and fans were leaving. People have different views on this, and I just want to know your opinion. Also with you, Rob, of leaving. Did you leave at 81 minutes?
I didn't. I was there till the final whistle. I was shocked about the amount of fans that actually were leaving. There was quite a mass exodus. I thought more people would have stayed to support them, but it's just put your team through thick and thin. But I suppose it's better than the Boreham Wood game in January 2020. We were 3-0 down before half time, and there was the mass exodus then, so at least they managed to stay till the 80th minute and 4-1.
Yeah, well, I'm here to play devil's advocate, but I don't think I need to play devil's advocate, because I'm going to turn to you, Calvin, and get your opinion on this one.
Yeah, I left at the fourth goal. There was no point. It wouldn't have mattered. Stockport were never going to do anything. And I think what was frustrating, like I said to you guys earlier on, is that I wasn't upset by the defeat or by the manner of the defeat. I was angry at the defeat and how it went out, because it just felt like there was no desire from the players to do the job that they were supposed to do. And I was just like, what's the point? We've sat here, we've come, it's not a reasonable thing, but I travel a long way to get to a game. To sit and have the players and the manager just have a game like that, I'm thinking, right, I'm going to miss my train. Not any other day I'd have missed my train. If we were 1-0 down, 2-1 down, and we were playing well and we looked in the game, I would have stuck it out. But there was just no point. It just felt like nothing worked. And like I said, the second that fourth goal went in, I was up off my seat and gone. Do you know what I mean? It was just... Yeah, it was shocking. There's nothing about yesterday. I woke up that morning and I said to my wife, I woke up and I said, look, I don't feel like going today. Something don't feel right. Normally, I'm dead excited to go to county games. Yesterday just wasn't. I don't know what it was, but I woke up that morning and I was just like, nah, this isn't going to go well. And it didn't go well.
I think we spoke about what went wrong for most of the game. But a bit of an overview, get an overview from you, Rob, and then I'll ask the question that I think a few county fans have said, but I'll get your overview, Rob, of the game.
Yeah, I think it was a mixture of defensive and keeping errors that made us lose the game, really. I was speaking to a couple of guys in the foyer afterwards up in the bar area, and they were calling for Inchcliffe to be back in there and get rid of the jumping on him. But he's a young guy. I know he had a bad game yesterday and his distribution was poor, but he's learning, isn't he? And Inchcliffe's distributions can be equally as bad. So it's, but yeah, I think overall it was just a calamity of errors which led to the goals, and on a different day, team could have been firing and it could have gone either way. But obviously, we know the result.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll agree in some aspects. Sorry, Rob, Callum. I agree in that in some aspects that Adai's distribution was poor. But if you look at how many times Connolly, Pye, Horsfall, and Adaramola had the ball, the amount of times they were looking back to Adai, I'm thinking, no, your keeper should only touch the ball if he needs to. And he was constantly being put under pressure. So, yeah, his distribution was poor, and I thought he had a poor game. But that whole back five, as it were, they were shocking. They were shockingly bad, and somebody needs to get a serious kick up the arse for next week, because it's a tough game next week. So
yeah, we're all travelling to that one, so I hope it's a good one, being an 8:00 kickoff.
I mean, what makes next week worse is that not only are we going and worried about the game based on the back of what's just happened, we've also got to travel to Yorkshire as well. So it's like, if they play bad and we've been to Yorkshire, what positives can we bring out of that?
Yeah. Right.
I'm joking.
Right. There is a question that I think I'm going to ask Calvin first, right? 50, just over 50% win ratio. He's the best statistical manager for Stockport post Second World War. I know what you're going to say, because he was saying it for 2 years, to be fair. But Challoner, in or out?
Out. Not even a question. I think sometimes he when the team is not playing well and we're not firing, he just doesn't know what to do. He doesn't have a get out of jail free card. Do you know what I mean? Some managers, even looking at the likes of managers like Ten Hag and like Arteta, they have get out of jail cards. They think, right, well, we'll change this and we'll bring this player in. He doesn't do that. I don't think he knows. And like I said, it's not just a snap reaction from yesterday's game. It's been a long time where I thought he's not the right man for the job. And I said to you guys, didn't I, in the group chat before, that he got us promotion twice, but the promotion from last season, I think most managers in League 2 and League 1, quality of managers, would have got promotion with that team, because we are a very good team. We were a very good team last year. And I think if you hadn't have got promotion with that team, you'd be in trouble. So I don't necessarily think it was the manager and his tactics that got us promotion. I think it's the quality of the players we had that kind of carried us through. And that 12-game winning run as well, I think, helped massively. I think if we hadn't have had that, we might have struggled. So I don't think he's the right man. I'm not going to be sat there at the games chanting to get rid of him. But if he leaves, you won't see me shed a tear for him. So,
okay, Rob, I'm going to ask you the same question. Chandler, in or out?
I think to give him a chance. He's obviously not been this high up before. This is kind of his out of his comfort zone a little bit, in it, because he's the best he's been in League Two before this. We always kind of start off poor and then get better as the season goes on. So for now, I think we'll see how he goes, and if it's still bad by Christmas, then maybe start thinking about things.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I thought you were going to be quite pro Chalmers, but maybe that's the way the wind is blowing, and fans can be quite beyond your manager, because that's what football is now. It's definitely something that we've got to look at. But let us know your opinions as well. Leave a comment at the bottom. We'll always like to hear your opinions here on the Cheadle End Podcast. But well, County did lose in the end, and I don't think any of us, apart from one person who's always the pessimist of the group, thought that County were going to lose, which obviously Rob is a pessimist of the group. So Rob gets his 1 point. That means he's on 3 points, as well as me. Calvin is top of the group with 4 points, which, to be honest, is how I was expecting it to be going into it. But Rob's going to be top the next one. Let's have a look at the prediction, though, for the next game. County are away at Barnsley, as we've said. Well, I'm going to ask you, Calvin, where do you think there? Because you've been quite pessimistic about County and today. Do you think that they can turn it around next week?
Nope. Good team, Barnsley. Good at home. Even based on, if I take out what I saw yesterday from Stockport, I think Barnsley would have won that game. I think more so now they'll win, but I still think they would have won anyway. So I'm going to go for a 4-0 Barnsley win. That might seem extreme, but they score goals at home and they are good going forward. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, Rob, I'll let you go next. Where are you going?
I'm going to go with a County win. I'm going to say that they're going to have a kick up their ass this week, get back into it. I'm going to go with a Barnsley 1, County 3.
Okay, wow. Do you want, to be honest?
you're bottom of the table for a reason, Rob.
You're going to be bottom again next week, I think. Because, do you know what? I'm going to do something different. I was going to do a County getting battered, but I'm thinking I'm going to go for a draw now, just to be completely different, and then we're going to have some real changes. I don't want to, but I'm going to, because what if you don't play the lottery, you're not going to win here. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 Barnsley win. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's happening.
He wanted to so badly go for a draw. He was like, no, it's gone.
Yeah, I was going to say 2 weeks, but it's not happening. I'm going to go with the 2-1 Barnsley win. This happened.
Yeah.
Right, I tried. Again, please give us your predictions for the game. We always like to hear yours. We'll add you as well to the prediction as well. And just before the game, so we can get everyone's predictions for the game. If you are going to Barnsley, please remember to look out for us when we do the predictions pre-game, and we can get you on the video as well. But that's it for this week of the Cheadle End Podcast. Thank you for the rant, Calvin. You've cheered me up. Something. It's been really good. It's been really good. Thank you again, Rob, for your insight into the game. And we'll be back again next week with probably more rants from Calvin if County don't improve. Until then, thank you again, Calvin.
Thank you.
See you again, Rob.
See you. Bye.
I'll see you soon.